Welcome to Fan Services Madness. That is our 6 hours of non-stop interviews. I am your host, Pocky D. With me right now is Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Martinez with the Austin Horror Society, and I'm one of the hosts of Austin Horror here at Fanboy TV.
And we have with us
Tom Brown. Hello.
Tom. You are the director and writer of Teeth, correct?
Teeth, that's right, yeah.
An animated feature, not anything else, but just an animated feature.
Animated short film.
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to make a feature film.
Not feature, short.
Can you tell us a little bit about your film?
Teeth is it's about a man's obsessive relationship with his teeth and sort of chronicles his life story through the loss and gain of teeth.
Can you tell us about where you came up with this very unique story?
Yeah, well, Daniel Gray, my co-director on this short, we had a film in 2007 called TOM, and when we were on the festival circuit with that, we started thinking about the idea of a homeless guy making a set of dentures out of found objects, and the idea kind of spiraled from there. So it sort of progressed into a man being obsessed with his teeth and then trying to create the world's most, I've forgotten the word, but...
Perfect dentures?
Perfect dentures, yeah.
This is what number of film that
Second film.
Your second film that
Yeah.
you've made. And how do you feel that from your first to your second, how do you feel that you've progressed as a filmmaker?
Well, it took 8 years, so I'm a lot better at drawing now than I was, because the TOM was our graduation film. So we were making this Teeth over the course of the last 8 years, whilst we were also making commercials. But I feel like the Teeth is like the quintessential idea of what we were trying to do with TOM, and the whole idea of using beautiful aesthetics as a Trojan horse for a quirky and uncomfortable idea to try and draw the audience in. So I feel like Teeth was the epitome of that.
I was going to say speaking of the title, what made Teeth the idea of an obsession? Out of all things, kind of be obsessed with something. I know several people are obsessed with their hair or thinness and whatnot. It's what drove you to go to the teeth?
I feel like teeth is a thing that everyone is very conscious about. I've had a lot of people come up to me and talk to me about how the film really resonates with them because they had a cracked tooth recently. And our last film was about the idea of a boy going to school naked, and this is kind of another of those horrible dreams that everybody has of losing all your teeth. So it's something that I feel like a lot of people can identify with.
Did you ever have any nightmares through any time in your life about that?
Not until I started Googling all the horrible things that can happen to teeth when I was trying to get references and stuff for it. So I had a lot of nightmares about teeth falling out whilst making this film, but not really before that.
How did some of your friends and family go, wait, are you still working on that project? What? It's 4 years, 5 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
So, to commit to something for that amount of time,
Yeah.
What is it like?
Well, the most important part of creating any kind of art is finishing that thing. So I couldn't really... I kept on telling people that I had this film in the works and stuff, and you can't really call yourself a filmmaker until you've finished it. So it was an intense kind of thing that I had to keep on doing it. But if we never finished it, then the film would never be finished, and it would just be, I had this project for a while, a hobby where I was just animating teeth. So
I know a lot of film directors get their start recently. I've read a lot of them they start off commercials and they start doing shorts, and now they're doing bigger ones.
yeah.
What project would you like to see yourself doing in a couple of years? A really big project, or do you want to stick to these smaller ones?
I really like short films. I feel like it's quite a pure form of art in the filmmaking world because there's no way you can make money out of it. So you're sort of doing it for the sake of making a short film, which I quite enjoy. But I would like to make a feature film. I think that would be super interesting. And being able to expand a story beyond 6 minutes
And if you were to make a feature film, would it be an animated film?
I don't know about that, because when I finished this film, I like vowed to never make another animated thing ever again in my life. But I'm still making animated commercials. But a feature animated film is like
It takes an army.
it's an endeavor as well. And I know this was 8 years, but this was like 8 years of working on like in the evenings and stuff. It would be like 3 or 4 years every day working on the same film, which I'm sure would be fun, maybe. But I'd like to have money to do it. If I had money, I would do it.
What growing up, what were some of the things that that drew you to animation?
It's a horrible thing to say, but I love Disney.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
I think Disney films are great, but when the thing that really made me want to be an animator was I saw the stop motion films of Barry Purvis at the Bradford Museum of Moving Image, and they were like so different from anything I'd seen before in animation. I was like, oh wow, this is like a really impressive thing that somebody can do. And also I had to like convince my parents that you could make money out of an art form. And I was like, animation? You can make money out of that, I think, more than like being an artist or something. So that was like half the reason.
If you had to pick one animated film, that what would be your favorite?
Sleeping Beauty is my favorite film of all time. It's like exquisite aesthetics, and I really love that old love story kind of thing. The woman singing a song and then a man comes and finishes off, he knows the words. It's super romantic. I like that.
What do you think of Maleficent, the twist on that story? To see the other side of the spectrum of them.
The recent film?
Yes.
I hated it, yeah.
Oh.
Did not like the rape metaphor. Thought that was a bit weird. And I also hate the overuse of CG landscapes in films today.
That's
So boring. Much rather see like live action, like go scope out somewhere that looks pretty. Don't just make it in CG.
Yeah. What are some recent films? You know, you were talking about Sleeping Beauty, which
Yeah.
is over 60 years.
Yeah,
60 years old?
it's pretty old.
Yeah. What are some recent ones that you've seen that just kind of, you know, really hit you?
I saw The Rabbi's Cat a few years ago, I think, and I think have no idea what country that's from, but I thought that was really beautiful. And also Song of the Sea that was nominated for the Oscar this year. I thought that was great. That's from Ireland. And the last Miyazaki film, the Wind Tales or something.
Yeah, I
Taylor.
think that's about right.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I love
Are you surprised to see a lot of other countries, including your own? You are a prime example also of other countries kind of taking the animation mantle and totally running with it. I mean, you just named a bunch of countries that aren't really known for their animation.
Well, I feel like the animation scene in America in particular is totally like child orientated, which is fair enough. I mean, it makes a lot of money. Frozen, biggest grossing film of all time. Got a lot of respect for that, but it's not something that interests me. And if I was going to make a feature, I wouldn't want to make a feature for children. I'd like to make it about something that I would be interested to watch.
What are some things that, if you were to make an animated feature film, what are some of the themes that you'd like to tackle?
That is a very good question. Not entirely sure. I would like to make another. I'd like to use the same kind of techniques we use with Teeth, of like making people feel uncomfortable, and so more towards like a horror narrative. But a lot of our films are about psychology as well, and like to hit some like bigger themes than just songs and stuff. Although I do like songs in animation.
What do you think about that animation leads to being able to tell these, I guess, more unique stories, right? And you can also get away from, I guess, the more realistic, or, you know, Teeth is fairly realistic. But I mean, like, what it is about animation that seems like you could just get away with a little bit more, or?
Yeah. It's all part of the aesthetics of it and the suspension of disbelief that you have with animation, so you can really like take it onto like a much higher plane of like abstract thought than you can with live action, which is something that's really interesting. And like the best animated films have like a part of that is that you wouldn't be able to make that in animation. No, in live action, and that's what like makes it so interesting, I think.
You have a pretty famous voice in your film.
Yeah.
In it, can you tell the audience who that is and what it was like working with?
Yeah, it's Richard E. Grant, most famous from With Nail and I, and also Girls. Recently, he was in. He was fantastic to work with. We had like a sound session booked for 3 hours. And he came in. He was 20 minutes late, very apologetic. But then the first take, he was quite out of breath because he was rushing. So we used a lot of those takes because they were a little bit weird. And I was very nervous about giving him direction because I'm a huge fan of his. But he was totally open to that, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he told us that he loved the film and stuff, and it was super exciting to work with him. Very grateful that he lent us his voice.
Is there another voice talent you'd like to work with in the future? Someone else's voice you're like, man, I'd love to do any project you have.
I did maybe stalk Sir Ian McKellen through the streets of New York and handed him a package with a script in because I love him, and I'd love to work with him, but that's high hopes. But maybe.
Maybe. I live in Michaela too, so I totally understand where you're going. I was like, yes, I want that voice.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about time for us to.
It is time for us. Sorry, guys, for taking so long. Or not. If so, people want to find out more about your projects you're working on in your future coming up. Where can they find out information about that?
If you go to www.holbrooksfilms.com/teeth, you can find it there, or follow the hashtag #TeethShort.
And can you tell us also, if for the people that are here during South by Southwest, when and where they can check out your film?
Animation block, Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, Tuesday at 4:30, and also next Saturday at I don't know what time because I'm not here.
And while you are here in Austin, do you have any Austin-y things that you've got planned to do?
I'm going to eat a lot of Tex-Mex. I'm going to drink a lot of tequila and go to Barton Springs.
All right.
Also, Tito's. You try Tito's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a local group here, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very popular. So, I guess that's going to do it for us now. Sorry, guys. Got a little confused there for a minute. But Pocky, we'll be back on here in a few minutes with some more interviews. Right now, here's some trailers you haven't been watching.